Welcome to Disney A, the Canadian-themed Disney travel podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Krysta.
And I'm Brandon.
Do you remember way back once upon a time in a land far, far away when there used to be a Through the Decades section on Disney+?
Yeah, that lasted like 6 months.
That was really awesome.
I liked it.
I did too. But anyway, they have a lot more content on there now, so it's probably not the easiest way to organize things.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Yeah.
That was the inspiration behind our Through the Decades segment that we've kind of had. We've been doing about one once a month. Give or take. Except the 90s is a really important decade to us, so we decided to break it up. And that's what we're going to be talking about this week is the first half of the 90s with the Disney Company.
The good half.
The first half of the 90s with the Disney Company. There's some good ones in here, though.
The good half.
Okay.
It's the good half. I'm sorry.
Plus, the 90s is, perfect for us because, we are the right age to have been exactly Disney age during all of this.
Yes.
So we probably have a fair bit to say.
We're elder millennials, so the 90s was our decade.
I bet it was. Also, so a little bit, as we always do, just if you're new here, we always talk a little bit about that decade in Disney in general, and then the big things that came out. So in the 90s, we also had the fantastic TV shows, some live action, but we're going to be talking mostly about the animated ones. We're also doing things a little bit differently because we are recording this in advance. We're on an adventure.
We're on an adventure.
Yay! Yeah. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please do. It's called Adventures A. You can also just search for Disney A. It pops up.
Nice.
Yep. But we are on adventure where you later will be able to see all of the things we're adventuring with. So we're recording this in advance.
Quite a bit in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we won't really be able to give much news or current events.
There's
or anything
no news
like that.
What if it's still playing?
Yep. The Magic Key program goes on sale this week.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Good news. What's your nerd thing? We're on an adventure.
So for this adventure,
yeah?
I actually basically played travel agent and kind of planned it all out. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. Cool. Absolutely.
I like traveling, but this was the first time where I had a full itinerary and
right.
planned it out day by day, and it was pretty open ended because it's a road trip, so I got to play a little bit like that.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about making flights or anything like that. It was just, I don't know, what do you want to do here? That kind of thing.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm a nerdy travel agent now, I guess.
I am for it because I get to adventure along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I asked your opinion on things.
You asked my opinion and I don't always like to make decisions.
You're like, I don't want to make a decision.
That was almost exactly a perfect recreation.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know why? Because I have to go back to school soon, tomorrow when this comes out. And I make so many decisions there that I don't like to make a decision as soon as I come home.
Fair enough.
That's nerdy and awesome and fantastic. I'm excited about it.
How about you? Anything nerdy? Timelessly nerdy?
Our Nuimos, some of our Nuimos are coming with us.
Oh, yeah. And
what else do I always talk about? Loungefly. I have a Loungefly bag along.
Well, yeah, you gotta have something to carry your stuff in.
Yeah, exactly. Does that count as nerdy?
Sure.
Okay.
You're not taking Animal Crossing now.
No, I'm not going to take Animal Crossing along. This is the longest I've left my villagers.
Oh, they're gonna miss you.
So sad.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh.
I'm gonna have so much weeding to do. Oh yes. Okay, so that takes us to the main topic.
Disney Plus and chill.
Okay, so figure the way we do this is I run through very quickly the big Disney in the 90s news.
Yeah,
well the first half of the 90s
let's talk
news.
about Disney in general in the 90s because there was a lot going on then.
There was. So we're specifically for this week, we're talking up to the end of 94. Basically, Little Mermaid we talked about in our 80s episode, and that is the first official beginning of the Disney Renaissance, and that was 1989. So that ushered it all in. But the 90s reached whole new levels here.
Yup.
Especially, like you said, the first half. So this is from the D23 site where I've got this following information. Hollywood Records was formed during this time to offer a wide selection of recordings ranging from rap to movie soundtracks. New television shows such as Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, Empty Nest, Dinosaurs, and Home Improvement expanded Disney's television base.
Okay.
Yeah. For the first time in 1991, Disney moved into publishing, forming Hyperion Books, Hyperion Books for Children, and Disney Press, which released books on Disney and non-Disney subjects. Disney purchased Discover Magazine, the leading consumer science monthly. As a totally new venture, Disney was awarded in 1993 the franchise for a National Hockey League team, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Quack. They had the best logo too.
It's true. It's awesome.
Or one of the best. Like the classic Mighty Ducks logo was just great.
So you know what's interesting? When I was going through and like compiling the list of like the features and things like that, I was like, oh, we talked about this in this particular episode or this particular episode. So we had a Mighty Ducks episode.
We did have a Mighty. We watched ahead of the new show, which I did see just got confirmed that they're doing a season 2.
I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So
that was an enjoyable show.
It was better than the movies.
Oh, it was. And I said that the first episode happened, I was like, well, that was way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
It was really enjoyable, actually. So, also in the 90s, over in France, the park now known as Disneyland Paris, but at the time it was Euro Disney. It opened on April 12th, 1992, and we actually, in a recent episode, not last one, the one before, we talked to Trevor and Taylor, our first official special guests on the podcast, and we talked about Disneyland Paris.
Because they had visited there.
Exactly, and we kind of were comparing
the only people that we know that have visited there.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was interesting. I liked hearing their thoughts, and you should listen to that episode.
Definitely. Do you know what we called it? I like the title.
La Disneyland?
Aw, I feel that was better than the one I...
Oh.
No, Mickey Rainbows and Two Big Thunders.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
I get why you would call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
La Disneyland is better. So eagerly anticipated the beautifully designed park, and man, doesn't it look gorgeous.
They spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, it attracted almost 11 million visitors during its first year. Disneyland Paris is complemented by 6 uniquely designed resort hotels and a campground. Also, back on this side of the ocean, Dixie Landings in Port Orleans and Disney Holiday Club were added to Walt Disney World Resort, and Mickey's Toontown and Indiana Jones Adventure helped increase attendance at Disneyland. So that's kind of all the park
They were
stuff.
in expansion mode like
were
crazy. That's interesting that they have 6 resort hotels in Disneyland Paris.
Well, I know it is like a little bit removed from other places, so
right. It is. It is kind of off in the countryside.
It's not like California,
which is why they picked Paris as the European country that they were going to go to, because there was a little bit more room there.
Right, exactly. Walt Disney World also opened of the All-Star Resorts, Wilderness Lodge, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Blizzard Beach, the Boardwalk Resort, Coronado Springs Resort, the Disney Institute, Downtown Disney West Side, and redesigned Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom Park. Holy, were they busy in Disney World in the early 90s.
Yeah, well, they had room to play there.
They did.
Again.
And let's expand and invest in things like that. Oh, in 1994, sorry, just before we get in there, Disney ventured into Broadway for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
This was cool, because Disney on Broadway is now like a big thing. They were very successful in this. The first was a very successful stage production of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that'd be cool to see. Oh, wait, I have. On Broadway in New York. That's cool. Bet you wish you could see that on Broadway in New York.
I saw a Broadway version of it traveling here.
Yeah, but I saw it in New York, so that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're there.
One day. Aww. Anyway. It was then followed by other productions in the later years of the decade, but that was, right at that tail end of our first half. Broadway.
That's big business for them.
Yeah. Okay, so... Man, did Disney ever come out with a whole whack of television shows in the 90s.
Well, they had their own... Well, they have ABC, of course, and the Disney Channel going strong in the 90s, so they would have needed a lot of TV shows.
All right, so this is a huge list, and I'm going to run down them very fast.
How about you just talk about the super major ones?
Oh, okay.
Because we don't need a laundry list of random Disney Channel.
Well, I'm going through and I'm like, I've literally heard of all of these.
Oh, okay. Well.
Or almost all of these. I'll skip random ones I haven't heard of.
Yeah.
But most of these I've heard of, and so have you.
Okay.
Probably. Okay. So, and this is from all the 90s, because, it may have started in 93 and ended in 97 or something like that. So we're not going to talk about TV shows next 90s episode. Okay. 101 Dalmatians, the series. Adventures of the Gummy Bears. That was the first. Remember from our trivia in the 80s? It was the first one on the television show.
So it extended into the 90s is what you're saying. Yeah.
Aladdin TV series. Bear in the Big Blue House. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill. I love Bill Nye the
Me
Science
too.
Guy. Yeah.
And I don't even like science.
Yeah.
Even though science rules. Bonkers, Boy Meets World, Darkwing Duck, Dinosaurs, The Disney Afternoon, Disney Magic Shop, Disney's Doug, Donald's Quack Attack, DuckTales. Woo!
That was also the 80s, though, wasn't it?
DuckTales?
Yeah, didn't it start in the 80s?
No, I think it started in 91.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I could click on it and see.
It's tough to say with the cutoffs.
The Renaissance. It was part of that. The Famous Jet Jackson. Flash Forward. I love that show. Gargoyles. Going Wild with Jeff Corwin. The Golden Girls. Goof Troop. Hercules, the TV series. Home Improvement, the TV series. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV series.
I think I ever saw that one.
I didn't. I had heard. I think I've probably seen an episode or two. Killer Bees, the Little Mermaid TV series.
They made a lot of TV series based off of movies.
Marsupilami, the TV series. Marvel Animated Universe. Mickey Mouse and Friends. Mickey Mouse Club. Mickey Mouse Works. Mighty Ducks, the TV series.
Was that like a live action hockey series, or was that the?
That was the animated.
The animated with the
actual ducks.
The actual mutant ducks.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah. Nightmare Ned, Off the Wall. Did you ever watch Off the Wall?
I've not heard of most of these, to be honest.
Oh, really? I've literally watched them all. Not religiously, just PB&J Otter, Pepper Ann, Playhouse Disney, Quack Pack, Recess, Road to Avonlea. Oh, you know Recess?
Yeah, I used to watch Recess.
Here's one I didn't know, but Sing Me a Story with Belle, Smart Guy, So Weird, Studio Disney, Tailspin, All the Trouble We Get In. Another tailspin. Oh man, why is that locked in my brain somewhere? Teen Angel, TGIF, The Playhouse, Timon and Pumbaa, the series, and that's it.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of cheesy knockoffs of movies.
Yes, tons.
Like I said, they're just trying to fill that Disney Channel up, basically.
But I mean,
Home Improvement was huge.
Home Improvement was big, and I watched a lot of.
That was like a top-rated sitcom for a long time.
And so some of them on here. When Dinosaurs recently got put on Disney Plus, people went nuts.
Yeah, that's a cult hit for sure. That was pretty highly rated as well.
That was another one I watched all the time. And then you have like your classic 90s one, Tailspin, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Gummy Bears, like all of those kinds of ones too. Huh.
Yeah, Gargoyles.
Gargoyles, yes. I've heard many rumors about something getting done with that.
They probably should. Yeah, it was a little darker for Disney, and it was good. I liked it.
So I just looked it up. You asked about DuckTales. It did start in the late 80s and then just continued on into the 90s.
Yeah. A couple of those shows, definitely. But that's fine.
Yeah. In fact, when I first went to Disney, Tailspin must have as well, and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, because when I first went to Disneyland, it was 1990, and I met Gadget. And we met Baloo the Bear, all from the late 80s going into the 90s.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense.
So I have a question for you. What would you say is your favorite from all of those?
That's a tough question. There's a lot on there.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of them. Bit of Tailspin for sure. A lot of DuckTales.
Woo.
Quite liked DuckTales, but a lot of Home Improvement. I watched a lot of Home Improvement. So that's probably at the top of the list. But if I was going to say best animated TV show, then it would be DuckTales. We actually started rewatching DuckTales when Disney Plus first came out. So it's tough for me. We were born in 85. My sister and younger brother, one who was on the show, they were born in the 90s, and so the reason I've seen so many is because I watched some as a kid, and then I watched some babysitting them. Yeah. So especially in the later 90s, and I watched a whole lot of Home Improvement. 3 words for you, 3 letters for you. JTT. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yes, all the girls our age were gonna marry him.
Yeah, well,
with all their playground games.
Yeah, I definitely had posters of him from that. And okay, just very quickly, still my favorite clip from Home Improvement, because he was the voice of Simba in Lion King. Of course, Tim Allen, who plays his father, was the voice of Buzz in 1995. So we're not talking about it this episode, but Toy Story. And in one of the Home Improvement episodes, it's Halloween and he's handing out candy, and someone comes who's dressed as a lion with an astronaut, and so he says, "Oh, tons of candy for the cute little lion and one for the space guy," and stuff like that. He was super nice to the lion. And
that must have been a later episode.
Yeah, well, because it had to be after 95. So definitely watched a lot of that one. I love Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah,
because I really like Gadget.
I saw that a bit too.
I think I'm going DuckTales though.
Okay, yeah, I mean DuckTales is awesome.
Although, yeah, early DuckTales, later Home Improvement because Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Okay, so that's the TV show. They were very busy with the TV shows.
Very busy with live action as well. So I have this broken up by year.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's telling you something. And again, I've seen almost all of these. 1991, White Fang.
Yeah.
Shipwrecked. Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. Do you remember that one?
I do, yeah.
Man, I watched that all the time. I loved that one.
It's not surprising. I mean, it's a horse.
Girl and a horse.
Horse movie. Girls like horses. But yeah,
especially in 91, I was 6.
I saw that a couple times in theaters. Like our school went on a field trip and watched it in theaters.
Well, and then it was played on TV a lot, which is when I mostly saw it. The Rocketeer also came out in 91.
That's a good one.
Do you know? I think I only saw that once.
I don't think you've seen it at all.
Or maybe not at all. I think we've discussed this.
We've discussed it, and I don't think you've seen it.
Or if I do, I sure don't remember.
Very cool. It's kind of retro-futuristic.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah, okay. Tomorrowland should have some Rocketeer stuff in it, okay? Thank you.
1992, Newsies. This is the original one. I think we should watch it, and then we should watch the Broadway one that's on Disney Plus, and we should have an episode about it.
Newsies.
Yeah. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, which is the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
No. Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Right. That used to be in Tomorrowland.
Yeah. Yes, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes. I liked Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
I always, the title of this one always threw me a little bit because like I get it, he's like enlarging them,
but I was like he's gonna explode them.
Yeah, I was always worried about the explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1992 also had the Mighty Ducks, and so we were talking about that. Yeah. So this was previous to them buying the hockey team.
Yes, right before I was like, yeah.
I looked it up though. Our episode where we talked about the Mighty Ducks is episode 26.
Okay.
So if you want to go back and check that out, that would be the one you're after, and then Muppet Christmas Carol, which I think is the best Christmas movie of all time. I think. I don't know. It's tied for my favorite.
It's not the best, but it
is literally the one I have to watch every year.
It's my favorite Muppet movie, and it's very good Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So
we agreed that it is the best Disney Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And so you can listen to our Christmas movie episode which is episode 13. Man, that was a while ago. Yeah. So 1993, we had Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. Oh, I still can't watch that without crying.
The animals are cute.
And they don't move their mouths.
They don't move their mouths, which is a big plus. The dialogue is a little cheesy.
I don't care. Love it.
Fine.
A Far Off Place.
Never heard of that one.
That's one I haven't heard of. The Adventures of Huck Finn. I heard of that one.
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus. Oh, I didn't write down our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a mistake on my part.
Yeah, it was. We talked about this on our Halloween episode.
And the sequel, so soon. The sequel's coming. Finally. Cool Runnings. And we actually talked about this one during our Olympics episode, which was episode 45. And The Three Musketeers.
Oh,
1993 Three Musketeers.
I'm pretty sure I mean, there's been a lot of Three Musketeer movies, so it's hard to
which
know.
One was
but
which?
I'm pretty sure I did watch this one. Yeah.
1994 Angels in the Outfield. Squanto: A Warrior's Tale. Do you know I've never seen this one? I've heard of it.
Heard of it.
I've heard of it a lot. Never watched it. Just didn't work out that way. The Santa Claus. Oh, this one, episode 13 again. Our Christmas one.
Yeah.
Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. That's not the one we discussed in 17, except to say we pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Episode 17 is our live action episode. But yeah, the new one is better. And that takes us to the end of 94.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite of those live action from the first half of the 90s? Some strong ones in here.
There is. It's probably Muppets Christmas Carol with an honorable mention to The Rocketeer just because it's something different.
Yeah.
And that's an underrated movie.
Cool.
Although I haven't seen it recently, maybe it hasn't aged well.
We should watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to go. I mean, I love Hocus Pocus, and I really love Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken, and that's one that gets forgotten about, as popular as it was. But I mean, of course I'm going Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, that's the best one on
that
this
is
list for sure.
Definitely the best one.
Not even a debate there.
Okay, and 5 animated features. came out during the first half of the 90s?
5 movies, 5 years?
5, well, close. Nothing came out in 93, 2 came out in 90.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you look at the 2.
Yes, this makes sense.
Yes, okay. So, in chronological order, DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp.
Woo! They liked lamps.
They did.
I love lamp. Yeah.
So that came out in 1990, as did The Rescuers Down Under.
Which was delayed.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out in the 80s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Did we talk about this?
I don't know why. I just remember, I think it was on the Imagineering story, they talked about it being delayed. Because in the 80s, the States was absolutely obsessed with Australia because, like, Crocodile Dundee had popularized it, and the Australia was the cool thing to do, and so they were like, yeah, we're going to do The Rescuers Down Under, but then it kind of missed that boat.
Oops.
Yeah.
This is like the black hole trying to get in on the Star Wars thing all over again.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, Disney, you're better than that. Okay. 1991 comes along, Beauty and the Beast.
I remember it well.
Yeah, this is the tale as old as time.
Saw it a few times in theaters. Had a white cassette tape of the soundtrack that we would play in the vehicle.
We had one of those for Lion King.
Yeah. Oh, I think I had probably had one.
And probably Aladdin.
For Aladdin as well. I do distinctly remember the Beauty and the Beast one.
So we've mentioned this before. It's not your trivia. Beauty and the Beast is the only animated feature to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars before, like, when it was only max of 5 nominated. So we say it is actually the best.
Critically acclaimed and definitely probably their best movie.
I think so. Do you know how many VHS copies of Beauty and the Beast I have run out?
Yeah, a lot.
I'm saying have because I did 2 of them as adults.
I mean, they have other forms of media now.
Right, but when I was in university, I didn't.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's a broke university student.
Well, that's
3. The answer is 3.
That is the trouble with VHS is they don't last.
The old jewel case.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the last one was too, but I don't watch it on there anymore.
You got Disney Plus. You don't need that.
Yeah. And actually, when they re-released it in theaters, it was right by my birthday, and that's what I asked to do to go see it, and I was like, I don't know, that was in the 2000s then, when they had the additional song and stuff in there. So 1991 comes along, and it's Beauty and the Beast, and it made so much money. It was set the new records that Little Mermaid had set previous to that. And it held on to that for exactly 1 year because the next year Aladdin came out in 1992. And then that was like a crazy resounding success.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing about Aladdin. It has a male protagonist, but it's also a princess movie.
Yep.
It double dips that way. So,
and there's a serious comedian in there.
Yes.
So, like, you've got everything in Aladdin. And they're doing their good old return to the legends. Although, I mean, like, I get Beauty and the Beast was a previous, like, a fairy tale story and everything. But, like, everyone is happy watching Aladdin.
It's not Rescuers Down Under. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Everyone watches Aladdin and is happy in 1992, and then they watch it again and they spend a lot of money watching Aladdin. You even have like your little Abu and Magic Carpet, like everyone.
Good sidekicks.
Excellent.
Good supporting character in the genie. Pretty good villain.
Yeah, he's a great villain.
Yeah.
We haven't ranked villains. We're going to do that this Halloween, we decided.
Right.
But we did talk about what we thought Jafar should get during our Halloween kind of
Christmas
era.
episode.
Oh no, that's right. Yes, about to make him a little less villainous. But he's a great villain.
Yeah. So it's good.
Do you know when they first started to shoot this, they were going to make Iago just like a regular parrot, and they were making Jafar like over the top villainous. And they said it actually was scarier for him just to downplay everything, be very serious instead of,
Right.
And which totally works for Jafar.
Yeah, definitely. And you got the comedic villainous aspect with Gilbert Gottfried just going crazy.
Being very Gilbert Gottfried-ish.
Yeah.
And Abu doesn't speak, but he's very animated, even though...
And neither does the carpet, obviously.
But at least, like, it makes sense for Iago to speak, because parrots speak, so I guess that's what they were going off of.
Yeah, they're trying to make it a little more realistic, so, like, you don't have talking animals except the parrot, which talks because it's a parrot.
Yeah. So anyway, it made a lot of money, and was the new record holder for making the most money until 2 years later, because in 1994 The Lion King came out. And there still are people upset that The Lion King was not nominated for Best Picture that year.
It probably should have been, but
well, I mean, they took Hamlet and were like, hey, but let's make it lions.
Well, sort of. I mean, it's not a perfect translation,
loosely interpreted.
So that 1994 it came out, so it would have been the 95 Oscars.
Yes, that makes sense.
I'm just looking up what was nominated that year.
Okay.
It was a strong year, so that one's pretty tough. It was the Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction year.
Oh yeah, there's not room.
There's not room, so that's 3 right there. And then you got Quiz Show, which is pretty good as well. I don't know if you've ever seen that. And then Four Weddings and a Funeral, which
I've seen that.
Pretty highly regarded drama.
Yeah, more drama than it looks like a romantic comedy. It's not really a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
It just had Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really strong year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's tough. It is tough. That's why they expanded it, so you could have more nominees.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you say super strong first half, yeah, it's a super strong first half.
It's the good half. That's what we're calling this episode.
No, we aren't.
Part 1, the good half.
No, but I love the later 90s ones.
Yeah, well, we can call that the other half.
No. Okay, so we talked about the live action, we talked about the TV shows, and we can agree that they're awesome. But there's something totally different about the animated features here. And there's only 5.
The Rescuers Down Under.
So there's only 5, so I think I should get you, and then I'll do it. Rank them.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's start with number 5. What is your bottom of these ones?
It's The Rescuers Down Under.
Okay. Do you know, I probably watched Rescuers Down Under. Well, I know I watched it lots growing up.
I watched a lot of bad movies growing up, a lot too.
You're terrible.
The Rescuers
it's not The Rescuers.
The Rescuers is a great movie, and it's a little different than you expect. It's whatever, but The Rescuers Down Under is just garbage.
That's also my lowest. Rescuers Down Under.
It's just not good. It's just not good.
No, well, I mean, I didn't mind it. I watched it again as part of I'm going to watch all the animated features in order. And I was like, oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ham-fisted inserting a previous movie into Australia, and there's just no reason for it. And
no, there's some good moments, but
the kid in it is annoying as heck.
There's that. But I liked it when I was 1990, and that was fine in 1990. But look what it's up against. It's number 5. Okay, number 4.
This one's obvious too.
DuckTales.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
This is basically a direct-to-video type of movie. I'm sure it came out in theaters for a little bit, but it was made for the Disney Channel.
Definitely. Technically, it might technically be not even as good as Rescuers Down Under, but I actually found DuckTales the movie. We rewatched this recently too. I found it very charming and nostalgic, and it was it was fun. And I mean, I love the DuckTales. So
it's DuckTales, and yet you're grading on a curve a little bit. Like, this is not meant to be a big theatrical release.
We've often talked about for what it is, and for what it is, this is good. It was fun, and I think so. Next time we talk about the 90s, and I've talked before about a Goofy movie, I think a lot of people thought that was like this, and it's not.
No.
Right. So yeah, we're considering this a curve. I would say number 4. Okay, number 3. Oh,
now we're having real troubles, aren't we?
Number 3. Okay, number 3 and 2 for me is going to depend on my mood.
Oh, I don't know. Why did I want to rank these? You asked me before, and
I know.
I was like, oh, we should rank these. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
This is not fun. This is hard. Number 3 and 2 for me depend on my mood. I literally 3 of the best Disney movies ever made. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
In general, I'm going to say Aladdin. Although I should rewatch Aladdin and then I might change my mind. And well, hold on, let me think about this now. I don't know. I love Aladdin.
You said Aladdin. Too bad.
I love Aladdin.
Okay, you.
But I said Aladdin. Okay, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to do it. Stick with it.
you hate tigers and
No!
you just disrespected Robin Williams.
No, I did not.
So yeah, no, that's fine. No, I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding, of course. For number 3, I think I'm gonna have to go Lion King.
But I mean, like, Aladdin is also.
But like the music of Elton John is fantastic, and it's a cool story. But yeah, I don't know.
I said, I said Aladdin, and honestly, for me, I think the music just pulled Lion King up a little bit more. Although I'm sorry, you got Robin Williams dancing around A Friend Like Me, and oh man, like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
very difficult.
Crazy.
It's very difficult.
So for me, then,
so then I
Lion
assume
King
you're
is 2.
saying Lion King is 2.
Yeah, and those 2 really are interchangeable.
They are. Even though they're quite a bit different movies, like
no, but they're just interchangeably awesome.
Yeah,
like,
no, they're both like,
very different styles.
All 3 of these other movies are very awesome. I would probably, like, for hand-drawn animation, put them as my top 3. So
fair, like they're so good.
Yeah, I guess Aladdin number 2 for me.
Oh, you are gonna, hey?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, okay. So number 1 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 1 is Beauty and the Beast.
It is. It's got the best animation.
Yeah.
Like, Lion King has some pretty cool action scenes, but so does Beauty and the Beast. And the ballroom scene, Beauty and the Beast, like, just how they did that, hand drawn, I don't know. The perspective,
insane.
The changing perspective as the swooping shot, like, that's it's crazy.
Yeah. Beauty and the Beast, I can't count how many times I've seen this movie. We were discussing when we recorded with Trevor and Taylor our favorites and things like that, and I said, like, I would aspire to be like Belle. She's a bookworm, but also, like, gets to be a princess and gets her dancing moment, but also isn't passive. Like, she always wants to do the right thing, and she doesn't suffer fools, and she's awesome. You have, okay, there's a little bit of questionable Stockholm Syndrome there going on, but the other thing I like about them, and we talked about this when we did our Valentine's Day episode, is, like, as a couple, they aren't just like, I see you and I love you. Like, there's a lot of faults, but they spend time together. They have a whole song about it, in fact.
They meet in the middle.
Yeah, they do.
Which is what good couples tend to do, I
Weird.
guess. Yeah.
But it is absolutely beautiful. Can't count how many times I've seen this, and I still love it. Don't want to watch this movie. In fact, we were talking about, like, your top 3 favorite movies of all time, and I said Beauty and the Beast might be on that top 3 favorites.
Interesting.
I'd have to actually write them down.
Yeah.
But I think it's for sure in my top 5 of any movie of all time. I love it. Everything.
And it's got great music as well. So.
Oh, it really does. All 3 of these have amazing songs. Just so good.
So yeah, that was tough.
That was really hard.
That was a bad idea.
That was not fun. We were wrong. Why would it have to be these 3? Literally.
So that's the first half of the 90s.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about for the good half, or?
Well, I've got some trivia for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can move on to trivia.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to add before we do that?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm, like, emotionally tortured by having to choose those ones. I'm gonna sit there and watch all 3 of them now, just to, like, make myself feel better.
Make yourself feel better.
Or worse.
It's like you're all my favorites.
It's like choosing which Nuimo to take with us on adventures. Okay, so I have some questions here for you, and let me tell you, it was hard to narrow them down as much as I did.
Okay.
Because of how awesome this time period is.
Okay.
So, which of the animated features from the first half of the 90s, all of these are animated questions, by the way.
Yeah.
Is the best-selling home video of all time? More than 55 million copies have been sold to date.
The Rescuer's Down. No, okay.
And tell you right, that's wrong. That. It's wrong.
Is this a trick question, or like, because I know Lion King had the biggest box office by far. Like, only recently was it beaten out by Frozen with, like, that's 20 years of inflation. I'm gonna just guess Lion King, unless, like, people saw it in theaters too often and they didn't want to buy it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible.
But yeah, no, I have to go with Lion King.
Okay. So we know the Beast... Oh, you might remember hearing this, because I think this was on either Imagineering or something. We know the Beast Castle in Beauty and the Beast is beautiful. There is something special about the majority of the sculptures on and around the castle. What is it?
Did not hear this, so I have no idea. Did they sculpt in some Easter eggs of like former animators or something? That's the only thing I can guess.
They're definitely Easter eggs.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay. That was a hard one, so I'll even it out here. This is also a hard one. Who was originally offered the role of Jafar? I have a hint. He's a nerd nerds love him. He turned it down because of scheduling conflicts and often says it is his biggest regret in his acting career.
Nerds love him. That really narrows it down.
He's in science fiction.
So, from that time period, like William Shatner, which would be a weird casting choice for a Middle Eastern fellow, but they did stuff that back then. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Let's go with that. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Nerds do love William Shatner. Okay, and then the last one is about Robin Williams. So Robin Williams ad-libbed much of his lines like he did with everything. Famously, most of the opening scene with the merchant was just made up. This had some consequences. For example, they had many more hours of material than they needed. How many hours of material did they get from him just talking?
Wait.
Do you want me to give you a ballpark?
Yeah, I'll need a ballpark, but are we going to start like a hashtag campaign to release the Robin Williams cut now?
We should. Can that be the title of the episode, not the good half?
No, it's the good half.
Darn it! Release the Robin Williams cut. Okay, A, 2.
No, it's more than that.
B, 12. C, 16. Or D, 20.
I was going to say 12, but you went real high, so we'll go 16.
And then, as an addendum to this, the film was actually rejected for a certain Academy Award because of the quantity of ad-libbing Robin Williams did. Do you know which one?
It was probably like adapted screenplay, because like you can't have an adapted screenplay if you're just like making stuff up.
So I don't think Disney could actually release the Robin Williams cut because a lot of it is inappropriate.
Yeah, well,
apparently,
you can tell by what they included.
Yeah.
That he was making adult references, and
he just goes.
Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Robin Williams stand up or a lot of it. Like, you get pretty blue.
Yeah,
so
it's true. Apparently, the scene with the merchant one they was talking about, they put a bunch of random objects on a table. This is like quite a famous story. And they had him all covered with a blanket, and he wasn't allowed to look. And he just like had to like reach under and feel and guess what it was and just make it up. And then the pieces of the merchant seat is what they used for that, except most of it they couldn't use, so they had to tell him to keep going. Okay, keep going. Remember, this is a Disney film. So I wonder how many of the hours were just that scene.
Sounds like a lot, but I mean, you can tell the whole thing is ad-libbed.
Oh, yeah. And, well, so
in like the best way possible, right?
Oh, definitely. Well, part of it is you're like when they're animating and things like that, you kind of like work together and match it up. They just like let them go, and then the animators have to figure it out.
Gotta do it after, yeah.
All right, so how are you feeling confident about those answers there?
I have no idea.
I thought they were interesting, though.
Yeah, I guess. I'm curious to hear about them statues.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, statues. But you can contact us on our social media if you think you have better answers than I did, because that's probably the case. Or you can just say hi. That's cool. Yeah, cool. That's cool too. Yeah. But that's our show for today. Thanks to El Mule, who's responsible for our awesome custom theme song that you heard at the top of the show. You can find a link to his work at our website, disneya.wixsite.com/podcast. And you can also find us on social media. Instagram at disneya.podcast, on Facebook at disneya, and Twitter at disneyapodcast. You can find Disney A episodes on your favorite streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and lots more. I was almost going into auctioneer mode there for a second.
You're channeling the genie with this
talking. There you go. Oh, if only I could have half of that talent. But you can also listen to our newest episodes on our brand new YouTube channel, Adventures A.
Hey.
And then you can also watch our adventures on that YouTube channel.
Right. So we release 2 videos every week. We do, if you are preferring to listen to your podcasts while you're hanging out on YouTube, falling down the rabbit hole, those are put up on there on Monday. And then on Fridays, we release our adventure episode, whatever we're doing. Whatever adventure we're on.
We've been managed to edit and condense down into YouTube appropriate video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
And also, please review our podcast, especially on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe. And if you know someone who might like the podcast, recommend us to them.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You can listen to Disney A episodes on Magic the Mouse Radio Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. You can listen to Magic the Mouse Radio on Live 365, MyTuner Radio, Radio Garden, and other radio station apps. You can also listen to the sounds and music of Disneyland.
Disneyland.
On Magic the Mouse Radio.
Yeah.
Which you'll hear our voices hosting that once in a while. So yeah, that's cool. And then you can join us next week when we talk about back to school.
Boo hiss.
Krysta likes back to school. It's her favorite, most wonderful time of the year.
Boo hiss. So we know that a lot of our friends in the United States, they start going back to school mid-August or even early August. But here the teachers go back end of August, and then the kids come back right around Labor Day long weekend. So
early September is usually the first day of school
for the very end of August, but usually early September.
Early September for the kids, but you don't get out till end of June.
Exactly, the very end of June.
Very end of June. So that's just a little bit different.
It just shifts a little bit.
Yeah.
So September always feels back to school like. So let's chat about it.
Okay.
Boo hiss.
Well, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Krysta. And until the next adventure, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Thanks for listening to Disney A.
But are we going to start like a hashtag campaign to release the Robin Williams cut now?
We should.